Hi, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Fit Talk with Dava and KP. This is Fit Talks, and it's a real talk about health and fitness. We really started this blab so that we could reach out to more people and get our tips, our tricks, our thoughts, our ideas out there to just a wider network of people so that we could help you guys get healthy and fit and just kind of navigate this crazy world of a healthy lifestyle. Again, my name is Dava McKenzie, and I became a fitness coach actually 2 years ago now. And I originally started coaching as a way to kind of like make some extra money to kind of pay forward everything that I had learned when I started my journey. And it's something that I really grew to fall in love with. Nutrition became kind of like a numbers game for me, and coming from a math background, the more I made it like a game, the more fun it was for me and the more I got plugged in. So I got certified in different levels of nutrition. And I am also a very big fan of music, and I got Size Live instructor certified so we can do dance classes together sometime. And I have just really fallen in love with helping other people get on track with their health and fitness. For me, I think it's a really big deal to have your health and fitness on track so that you are healthy enough to do all those other things in life that you want to do, whether it be a great mom, daughter, wife, spouse, friend. If you want to, whatever kind of career you have to be healthy enough to make moves in that career. If you're trying to climb the corporate ladder and you're constantly sick or, constantly exhausted, you're not going to be able to do that, right? So if we're going to really make a great impact in this world and affect other people or affect change even in our own lives, we have to be in top physical, mental, and healthy state.
Great.
Mic drop.
I think we're done for today.
And that's the show.
That was great. Thank you for that amazing open. So as David mentioned earlier, my name is Clanesia. You can also call me KP. And I have been on my fitness journey off and on for about 10 years. And it wasn't until about 3 years ago that I really decided to make my health and fitness a priority in my life and make a healthy lifestyle just a part of me instead of, working out because I want to look a certain way or feel a certain way about myself like I had done in the past, all those years before I was kind of just starting and stopping. And I got to a point where I was tired of it. I got tired of feeling sick and stressed out and decided to make a change. And so that's the journey that I've been on for the past 3 years or so. And I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with being able to talk to other people about different changes that they can make in their own life to feel a little bit better. And that's really what turned me on to coaching. And just under a year ago, I decided to jump into coaching full time. And now this is what I do with my life every day. And I love it. I've had some really great opportunities to do some other things. So where Dava is in love with dance and did her size certification, I am more into kind of the yoga and the mindfulness and living that own life. So I did my PiYo Live certification. Not that it's not a great workout, but definitely more on the yoga and Pilates side. So that's super exciting. Very into nutrition and eating right and kind of figuring out that balance between this is how I need to eat, this is how I need to work out to meet my goals. And just love helping other people figure out the same thing. So excited to be able to talk with you guys every Tuesday night about our various topics. So why don't we go ahead and just jump right in? Last week, we had an amazing conversation about supplements and what those are, how they're used, who should use them. And the bottom line from that conversation was that a supplement is just that. It's supposed to be used to supplement a healthy diet and just plug in the holes that your hopefully very healthy diet is missing. Okay, so one of the things that we talked about in that conversation was the fact that when you are using supplements to achieve a specific goal, one of those supplements might be a diet pill when you have something like a weight loss goal. And I thought that was a great segue into tonight's conversation, which is going to be all about quick fixes. Because generally we think about things like diet pills when we're looking for a quick fix to kind of lose a little bit of weight or whatever it is, whatever your weight loss goal is. So I want to go ahead and jump right in. Quick fixes are definitely a hot topic right now. I know I get a lot of questions from some of the people that I work with about different things that we'll touch on later on in the conversation, but let's go ahead and just dive right in. Dava, you want to give us a little 101 about quick fixes?
Yeah, I think when you think of a quick fix, or I mean, for us, we call it a quick fix, right? But I think other people, when they see these things that are out there, they don't really realize they're a quick fix. They're like, yes, this is what I need. This is going to solve all of my problems, right? This is the magic pill. And when you start looking at things like, yes, that's the end all be all. If I do this one thing, everything is going to be, rosy and looking great and feeling great. It's probably a quick fix. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Because honestly, there is no magic pill to health and fitness. There is no one thing you can do. The past couple of weeks, we talked about superfoods and supplements, right? There is no one superfood that you can take and it's going to be the fountain of youth and it's going to cure you of diabetes and high blood pressure and, make you drop those 50 pounds that you've been meaning to work on for the past 10 years. This is real talk about health and fitness, and it just ain't out there, sister friend. It's just not going to happen. You really can't trick your body into becoming stronger or more lean or healthy or athletic. There is nothing that you can do that's going to make all of those things manifest. So when I see quick fixes out there, I really look at them as a temporary solution to a long-term problem or a longer-term solution. So quick fixes can be good, and we'll kind of get into when they might be acceptable and when they might not be, but they're definitely temporary. They're not long lasting. But people tend to look at them like they're the end all be all, right?
Oh yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that these quick fixes might be appropriate. And like you said, we'll talk about that a little bit later. So just to know that this isn't a conversation about bashing quick fixes, but we just want to make sure that you are not being misled and that you've got your mind right when you're looking at these different things. So with that said, why don't we go ahead and jump into a couple of our favorite examples of what quick fixes might be. Now, I'll go ahead and talk about a few that I've tried, and then Dave, I'd love for us to kind of go back and forth and see how examples we have between us. So I mentioned earlier in the conversation that in last week's conversation, I mentioned diet pills and the fact that I had used them in the past. So if you missed that conversation, you definitely want to check out last week's show. But, diet pills, like I said, it's one that I've tried. It's one that I didn't have a really great experience with. And I will touch on this more later on in this call. In this conversation, but it's one that I've tried. It's one that's out there. I think we've all seen the different commercials where they say, this pill is going to help you burn fat and suppress your appetite and do this or that so that you can lose X amount of weight. So we've got pills like that. We've got, the more innocent things like Spanx or booty poppers, or as I like to call them, but they're like the butt enhancers, both of which I've used before. Personally, I didn't love them, and it's only because with Spanx, I think those are great. Just me personally, I don't like to have my belly and everything constricted, so it's just not comfortable. So I don't really use those. I have a butt enhancer, and it's just, I can tell it's not my body, so I never like to wear it. So it just kind of sits in the drawer. Other things that I've tried. So waist trainers are really big right now. And I had something, this was a long time ago, and it wasn't quite a waist trainer like you see today, but it was kind of like that sort of corset type thing that kind of just holds you in. And I think I wore it under like a dress or something like that when I was going somewhere. it was stiff and it was uncomfortable. So, and it had wire in it. So anytime I would like bend a certain way, the wires would pop out. So that was always interesting. Yeah, but I get a lot of questions about waist trainers from clients that I work with and just other people who are interested in them. They're very big. You know, I feel like you can't go a day on Instagram or and just scroll through without seeing some sort of ad for the latest waist trainer or some celebrity that's advertising that they use this waist trainer or that waist trainer. And I definitely have my feelings about waist trainers in general. Like Dava mentioned, you can use them for kind of like a temporary effect, but I don't want anybody to think that waist trainers are going to necessarily reshape your body. There hasn't been any real evidence, any real medical evidence that has showed that that has shown a waist trainer is good for your health or good for your goal of reshaping your body. Like I think we're going to keep coming back to this time and time again. Like if you want that long-term effect, you're going to have to, one, eat right, and two, do appropriate physical activity to get there. Geez, Dava, what are some fixes that you have tried?
Well, just piggybacking on this waist trainer thing, because I mean, I will admit I'm pretty like I am like the fourth Kardashian sister, or I guess like the sixth, but but like they all have a waist. I think everybody except for maybe Kendall has been on Instagram wearing a waist trainer, right? You see it all over the place. People think this is what's going to get them like that nice hourglass figure. And honestly and truthfully, again, there's a time and a place for some of these things, but that's not it. If you want to get that look, you really want to focus on doing exercises that work your transverse abdominis, which for a lot of people are like, why are you cursing at me? Like, what did you just say? But if you Google transverse abdominis and exercises, you will find a ton of different moves that you can do that will whittle a waist, or Google whittle waist, and you will find different moves that you can do that'll get you that hourglass look. There are no studies that said that waist trainers have been beneficial, but there are plenty of findings out there that say that it's detrimental because people are using them wrong and they're over tightening them and they're not being able to breathe right during exercises. I think they're good if you're using them for support. I think they're good if you do not wear them all the time. Like I know people who wear theirs around the house. They wear them when they work out. They wear them when they're in the car. And I'm just like, when do you breathe properly? When does your lungs fully expand? I don't know. And so again, if you use them properly, they can work. You can look at them as like a different form of a supplement to what you're already doing. Because again, just like with the other supplements, at the base of it has to be a good diet and nutrition, right? You supplement, you add on to what's already good and solid there. You can't, sit around in your waist trainer and eat McDonald's and think it's gonna be all right. Like it's not.
Please don't do that, guys. Please don't.
It doesn't work that way. So like Clinique, I also use diet pills. I think that's a really big thing back in the early 2000s. Especially right before like ephedrine was banned. And then like we'd all be, not all, but those of us who tried it and we were in high school doing stupid things, would be like shaking in class and wondering why we're having heart palpitations and like having tremors all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like I've been there too, and it wasn't a good sign. What else have I done? Well, speaking of waist trainers, I guess this is kind of a mix of a waist trainer and a wrap. But I do use a wrap that goes around my stomach while I work out, and it's meant to help you sweat more. I'm not a really big sweater, and it also like kind of makes me mindful of my form, kind of like with the waist trainer. If you're using it for support or something like that, that's what this gives me without constricting my breathing. So I do use that. I do not use wraps, and I'm not a really big fan of them. Because again, I feel like that is extremely temporary, if at all that. Because some people do wraps, they spend all this money and they don't even have a big effect, and then they're really pissed. But if you do have a big effect, it's not going to stay unless you keep wrapping your body up. And who has time to like do all that like saran wrap? I don't have money for that. So if I'm going to be investing in something, I want long-term effects. I want something that's lasting. I want something that's going to be beneficial and, you know, adds to my life rather than be like something that's fleeting. I've tried creams. Again, this is, you know, when you want so badly to feel good and to look good, all of these things that they put out there with this great marketing looks really great. And you feel like, yes, this is what's going to get me to what I need. But if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I've tried creams that were supposed to tighten your skin and, you know, like burn fat and get rid of cellulite. And I don't know how a cream is supposed to burn fat, but that's what they said it would do. And I believed it enough to try it one time. And I think it just made me smell really minty. I probably got even better results from actually plugging into clean eating and working out 30 minutes every day. Another one I see a lot of on Instagram are teas. I have not tried any of the teas. I feel like, from my understanding of what's in the tea and the different types of teas that are brewed and having like, you know, a knowledge of tea, it is basically like taking a laxative. It's a diuretic. You're gonna pee and poop a lot. I'm sorry, this is real talk about health and fitness. If that's what you want to do, that's your business, but that is not lasting results.
I can give you a firsthand experience with teas because I have used a T-Tox.
And was I right or was I wrong?
You're definitely right. And here's the thing, guys. Okay, first of all, like, it's probably like a minimum. So I think I did a 28-day detox. I think I have like 14 days and 28 days, and I don't know if there's longer. But so I did this 28-day one because I was getting ready for vacation in a month or something. And I was like, yeah, I just want to be like, I want to look so good. So I'm doing this tea. And like you said, there's like a morning one that's like a detox tea, which you can probably go to your local grocery store and get for $3 a box. And then there is the one that is the diuretic that you use at night, and then you wake up in the morning and you go to the bathroom. Again, you can go to your local grocery store. You can get a box of Smooth Move for $2.50 and the same effect. The danger with something like that, a box of Smooth Move will tell you that you don't need to be using it every single day because it really messes up your system. So that's something that you need to think about with some of these long-term detoxes. The other thing that I found interesting when I was doing this detox is they will tell you, okay, so don't consume any dairy, don't have any processed foods, try to eat, minimize the amount of meat you have, eat a lot of fruits and veggies. And so, thinking back, I'm like, dang, you just told me to eat clean essentially and drink some tea. So like everything we're saying about if you want these long-term effects, you don't have to go pay $50 and more for these detoxes. Just change your diet. And if you want to drink some tea, go get it for $3 a box at the grocery store. So I found that really interesting, David, that you even mentioned, like, you're right about the teas themselves, but then they tell you to essentially eat clean, which if you just did that every day, you wouldn't have to spend your money.
I find that really funny for several different reasons, because one, I see what you're saying, like it makes you wonder, did I lose weight from the tea or did I lose weight from eating clean? Two, if you're taking something that's a diuretic, adding those nasty things, they're really hard on your system. If you didn't know that already, it's gonna make the experience with the tea that's gonna make you go that much worse. So they're trying to spare you, right? Because then you would have like all these cramps and all these other things, and then you have to really think about, well, if these things that I'm eating are giving me cramps and stomach irritability, why am I eating them in the first place? And then it's also funny, but I don't know, it's just like a whole messed up scenario. And I'm just like, but people drink these teas and they buy them constantly because they're like, this is what I need. Again, there's a time and a place for everything. But before we get into that, are there any other examples that we forgot? I mean, I definitely own Spanx. I don't really wear them too much anymore. I'd say before I lost the 50 pounds, I would wear Spanx, and then it was a really great feeling for my before and after pictures to look at certain pictures and be like, I was definitely in Spanx in that dress before, and now this is just me, and I look even better than I did in the Spanx. I know, right? I don't use them so much anymore. They're really uncomfortable. But again, time and a place, right? So if I was going to an event and the dress was a little bit snug, I would use a quick fix and put on some Spanx if I had to. Ain't no shame in that. If I were, I guess, like a celebrity or somebody like a really high profile event, and I needed like a quick 3 pounds like down or something, you know what I mean? I might do that, but like a tea or something else. But I'm like thinking about it now, and I'm like, but I could also do the 3-day refresh, and I lost, what did I lose? Like 7 pounds in 3 days last time I did it, 7 or 8, I forget. But I could also do that and drop some quick weight and inches and blow and then feel better and sleep better. Or I could have diarrhea for like days on end, also get ready for this event. Which would I rather? And I'm like, okay, yeah. So maybe there isn't a time and place for that one.
I mean, and you're right about there being a time and place. Like, so if you did decide to do a tea, I definitely wouldn't do it for 28 days. Like, that was ridiculous. When I probably could have been fine just eating clean for 28 days. But
28 days,
you know, if you have,
well, you already know we already do it. But I'm just saying, if somebody else started eating clean for 28 days, one, you would have like a completely better habit. You would feel so much better because you got rid of all the heavy metals in your body. Like, you would have completely detoxed by the end of the 28 days. You would have broken your addictions to sugars and processed foods. Like, come on. I dare you to give me 28 days of clean eating and tell me you don't feel or look or feel better.
I mean, in the 5-day clean eating groups that I run, people tell me in the end that they feel so much better. So you can only imagine after 28 days of clean eating how amazing you'll feel. But I mean, you know, like we were saying, there's a time and a place. If it was a couple of days before I had to do something really big, maybe go on vacation, I might do something to just lose a little bit of bloat or something like that. But in those 28 days that I spent on that detox, like I said, could have been eating clean, could have been gotten a really great workout program in. We have plenty of, 30-day, month-long, 4-week workout programs that you can see really great results in that amount of time. If you wanted to do, I know before a vacation also I did like one of these massages. It was kind of like a massage with the wrap thing kind of mixed in. So like she massaged me a little bit and then wrapped me up, kind of a little cocoon-like bag, and it was really warm in there. And that was supposed to
be like one of those like human sauna things, right? Where you look like a big potato.
Yeah. I mean, I really couldn't tell you if that really worked or if it was just in my head. I felt like I looked great on vacation, but who knows? So, I've done that, but I think it's all going to come down to what's your motivation, right? If you're looking for, you just need to look good in a dress for your birthday or some other big event or for vacation. Yeah, there are a couple of quick fixes that you can take advantage of. But if you're talking about losing a significant amount of weight or looking better in your clothes, just long term, like you want to make a long-term change where you're going to feel better from the inside out, then these quick fixes are probably not what you want to go after. That's when you really want to start thinking about what are your eating habits? What are your working out habits? Are you working out at all? So instituting some of those things would actually be better for those long-term fixes. There are a couple of quick fixes that I will say you want to be wary of. And Dava, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these and if you have others that you can think of. But for one, we've already mentioned the diet pills. I honestly, it's even if you do see any sort of results from diet pills, you have no idea what they're doing to the inside of your body. Maybe you're not like Dava or me, who, both of us kind of experience those side effects like the jitters and the heart palpitations and, those physical signs that told us you're doing something stupid. Not everybody feels that, but you never know what's going on inside your body. So you have to be careful with things like that. But also, I think a lot of people are into either fasting completely or restricting their calories below a safe amount of daily calories. And that's something that you guys need to be really careful about, because one, fasting in general is terrible for your metabolism. It will completely destroy your metabolism. And it's going to take you time to kind of get that back when your fast is over. And then two, just restricting your the amount of calories that you eat for any period of time is it's detrimental to your system as well. You know, your organs really rely on the food that you eat, the nutrition that you give them to function every day. So even if you're not eating the best food for yourself, the fact that you're eating at all is giving your body something to work with. So if you're, not eating, so you're not putting anything in your body when you're fasting, your body has nothing. Like, it's literally, you are starving yourself to death. And so these fasts and things like that, I want you to be really mindful about how they affect your body, short-term and long-term. Dava, what are your thoughts on any of those things? Or do you have any more to add?
And just like clarifying, because I was about to ask you a question and then I realized what you meant. So when you're saying fasting, you're saying not eating at all, correct?
Not eating at all, or restricting your calories below a safe amount that you should have in a day. So generally, like below 1,000 calories, below 1,200 calories.
Right. If you're restricting below 1,200 calories, I want to see your doctor's note where they told you to do that, or your nutritionist note where they said, yes, this is what you need to do. That's just my take on it. Some people may fast for religious reasons, or during certain holidays, or certain periods in their life, and I think those are okay. It's for a reason, and it's not always they call it a fast, but it's not always restrictive in a caloric sense. It might be restrictive in I can't eat in certain types of foods. Like, for example, if you're fasting for what's the holiday after Mardi Gras where you fast? Lent. If you're fasting for Lent, you're not giving up all food. You might be giving up something, and I think that's okay, and people would consider that a fast. So I just wanted to be clear on that. And I mean,
I'm talking about fasting for weight loss. So yes, thank you for clarifying that. Not just fasting in general, even though that's just another conversation in general about fasting. I could go on a whole other forever, on another day. Right. A whole other, and that, that's real talk that might get me in trouble anyway. But so, yeah, so we're definitely talking about when you're fasting with the intent to lose weight, restricting your calories, or just not eating for a certain amount of time.
For an extended period of time. Because I could say that like the 3-day refresh is very restrictive for me. I am supposed to eat almost double what I'm supposed to eat what I do in the 3-day refresh. So for me, it's like a very drastic change, but it's only 3 days. It's not a whole week. I'm still getting plenty of nutrients in there. So on a caloric sense, it's very, very low, but on a nutritional, nutrient-based, micro, macro type of level, I'm having all my needs met. So when you're getting your needs met some way, somehow, you have to really evaluate if it's okay. And really, you're only going to be able to do that if you have a coach telling you, a doctor giving you, like prescribing you, like this is what your diet is, or you have that background in nutrition. So that's why it's really important to work with a coach who can kind of like help you navigate some of the stuff and, know what's right for you and help you kind of figure it out. You should be wary of any diet or any meal plan that eliminates food groups altogether. You need carbs. To say no to all carbs whatsoever is not good. You need the nutrients.
Anyway, you're going to be a crank.
What'd you say?
Bare minimum, you're going to be a crank pot, Let's not even talking about what it does to your body to not have carbs, but like you are going to be a cranky person.
Makes people happy. I know. I'm part Italian. Like pasta is the way to people hurt.
You also need carbs are your fuel. If you are eliminating all carbs from your body, well, for one, you probably don't know how many foods actually contain carbs. But anyway, if you're trying to eliminate all carbs from your diet, you're going to be working out, it's almost in vain, because carbs are the energy that your body uses when you're working out. And if you don't have that, then guess what? I'm going to be eating your protein is what your body's going to say. And then what's the point?
And the funny thing is that even if you do know everything that are in carbs and you're still avoiding them, you're missing out on so many other food groups. I know people who are like, I'm cutting out all carbs altogether. I'm not eating any fruit. I'm not eating any carbs. I'm not eating any dairy. And I'm like, what do you eat? And they're like, meat and vegetables, and that's it. And I'm just like, Dios me, like it's too much, like eliminating food groups. 1, you're not getting enough nutrients. 2, and like you said, if your body doesn't have those healthy fats and those carbohydrates to burn during your workout, it's going to burn protein, which means you're going to be losing muscle mass, which actually burns more calories than your workout would have. So, it's like, joke's on you. That's what your body literally says inside. So be wary of anything that eliminates food groups altogether, especially if you're only focusing on one thing, because that's another thing. So if you're only focusing on meat, if you're only focusing on juices, your body is going to get too much of something that it might not need. There are certain vitamins that our body will excrete naturally when we have reached that cap for our body. Once we have too much vitamin C, like, we can get rid of it. There are other vitamins, K, A, D, and E. If your body gets too much of those, it creates toxic levels in your body, right? If you have too much sugar, your insulin's going to go up. Like, it just is. You cannot be drinking juice for days on end and think that it is okay. What are those juices that come in the bottles? I think they're the naked juices. I know people who have done juice cleanses just drinking those. And if you have ever read the sugar content in that, you know you should be drinking that, like, not even a whole bottle in a day and probably watered down like you were a toddler. But people do cleanses on this stuff.
Because there's 2 servings too in each of those bottles. So what is there, like at least 25 grams of sugar in one serving? And you're cleansing. You are literally pumping your system full of sugar
when you should be detoxing.
And I love when people are like, but it's natural. And it's like, sorry. I mean, this is real talk though, guys. Like, we don't want you to be misinformed or misled. These are things that you do have to pay attention to, because even if that's the reason that you can't just eat fruit all day long, because fruits themselves have all these natural sugars. Yes, they're natural and that's great, but there's a limit to everything that you should have.
Exactly. So yeah, I think those are my 2 biggest warnings when it comes to quick fixes with the diet. I've heard some pretty crazy things from people. I've heard some pretty crazy things on TV, like in the news, just like celebrities doing. Like, I heard one day there was some like taco diet, and I'm like, tell me more. I'm like, maybe that's worth checking out. I don't know. I've heard like cabbage soup. I've heard, the 7-day juice cleanse. I've heard, again, like, I'm only eating meat and green vegetables. And I'm like, just because green vegetables are good for you doesn't mean you don't need other things in your life. Like, can you have some quinoa with that, or a banana?
It's not to say that juice and things like that. I know a lot of people will, send me these different cleanses that'll be like, oh, it's like a cucumber and some celery and like wheatgrass and things that are actually really great for you, and it's juiced. That's fine. You can drink that. Just don't live off of that. Like, let that be a part of a full healthy diet that includes food that you chew throughout the day.
What juicing is that juice extracts the pulp. So if you're juicing and you're not getting in all that fiber, which is meant to clean out your system and keep everything moving healthy, again, you're eliminating something else from your diet that you really needed. I feel like we're going to stay on this one topic for forever.
This could be a whole...
It's really important. I feel like so many people fall into that marketing trap.
Why don't we make that another show? I bet it's on the list at some point now.
And I'm pretty sure we got into it too when we talked about diet and nutrition and things like that. I'm sure it'll come up like 50 million more times. It's just, and especially since we've been there, like, we see it, we know it's out there, we know it's tempting. It's just really important to look for those healthier, long-term, lasting alternatives, like having a clean diet, like getting a coach that's going to help you. And Clinisia always talks about being this lazy cook. So I know now to like hit her up if I'm like, I need something quick to eat. What can I make? My friend and mentor Allison Tibbs is an amazing clean eating cook, and she always posts these wonderful recipes. So I'm like, if I know I want to do something a little bit more involved, I might hit her up and be like, Allison, I got some kale and some quinoa. What should I do with it? And she'll be like, here are 5 different recipes that I made this week with kale and quinoa. And I know it's going to be delicious. It's not just going to be like I'm eating the earth.
And it's
oh yeah, she posts the best pictures. So if you're on Instagram or Facebook, look for Allison Tibbs. She posts some great stuff. Again, doing workouts that are targeted for what the effect is that you're trying to gain long term. So if you're trying to get a smaller waist or an hourglass shape, doing those different exercises that I mentioned. If you're trying to get a bigger booty, instead of doing the booty pop thing, like working some deadlifts and some squats and different variations of squats so that you're working your butt from different angles, some kickbacks, all of those things. To get a bigger butt, you need to hit your butt from different angles. You can't just do one exercise over and over. Doing the 30-day squat challenge and working your way up to 300 squats is not going to get there. You're going to get gigantic muscles with no shape. No. You're going to be really sore and not walking.
I just want to also a point of clarification there too. We're not talking about just targeting. So if your goal is to get abs or get a booty, don't just do squats and that be your workout. Oh, I went for a half-mile run and then I did some squats, all day squats for an hour. Don't just do that. You really do need to focus on your entire body. But if there is something you want to pay more attention to, then maybe you can have 2 leg and butt days, during or something like that. You can just put a little more effort towards that area, but you definitely want to be working your entire body. And there are plenty of, full body compound workouts that work multiple muscles. So even as you're working, your shoulders or something, you can still add in, abs or legs or something like that. You can find different ways to do that. So definitely don't try to just, live off of crunches.
No, you got to work it in. Again, it's kind of like the nutrition thing where we said supplements are to add on to a good foundation. So if you're going to be targeting, you would work that into an already full total body workout plan.
Exactly.
Same thing if you want to work your arms, instead of, wrapping up your biceps so that you get rid of that like little arm flab, you could do different exercises that would target your triceps. And if you're not familiar with the different muscle groups, again, I'm going to say it like 50 million times. This is why it's great to get a coach. And you say, hey, Clinisia, I'm really trying to get those Michelle Obama arms. Like, what can I do to get them? And, here's where my fitness level is at. What can I do? And she's going to be like, what a great program that worked for me was, and she's going to tell me. Or she's going to be like, based on your level, I would suggest XYZ. If you don't have a background in fitness and nutrition, you're not going to know what the hell is good for you or good for Bob. Like, come on. So again, get a coach.
We're here
Are there any other healthier, long-term, lasting alternatives that you want to mention, Clinisia?
I mean, not really. I just want to reiterate, if it's a long-term fix that you're looking for, and we hope that it is, it's all about making physical activity and a healthy diet a part of your everyday life. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to taste bad. It doesn't have to be boring. And again, that's something that you'll hear time and time again from us. We will give you all the different ways that you can possibly make a healthy lifestyle work for yourself. Get a coach, talk to somebody, talk to your doctor, anybody who can just kind of help you get started and stay motivated. Because there's really, if you really want this bad enough, if you want to look a certain way, feel a certain way, there's always going to be a way for you to get there. And I think
for every example we gave, there is a healthy alternative to get there. And it doesn't have to take 6 months.
$1 million, because some of the stuff is mad expensive. And, I wish I could just put all of the things I've ever bought, all the quick fixes I've ever bought in a pile and just tally it all up.
I wish I could get so much money. That's all I wish. the struggle.
All right. The things that we wish we could do differently. But yeah, eating healthy, living a healthy life, it's a huge topic. So again, we're going to be talking about it time after time. And next week, I always get excited when we're going to be talking about food. Our topic for next week is going to be abs are made in the kitchen, which I love to tell my clients. They're always surprised, but it's really, really true. So if you are remotely interested in tightening up your core area, getting those abs, getting six-pack abs, like figuring out, okay, what's that secret sauce that will get me where I want to be, beach ready, having that, six-pack, those V-line, like whatever it is. You want to tune in next week because we're going to be talking all about what's required diet-wise to kind of pull that together. And I'm really excited to talk about that. So please join us next week right here on Blab at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We encourage you to bring a friend, bring two friends, share the wealth with other people. If you find anything worth, sharing with other people in our conversations, then definitely, bring somebody along next week and let them gain a little something as well. This is all about sharing the wealth and sharing our passion for living a healthy lifestyle. So thank you guys so much for joining tonight. And we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.